On this week's episode of Hell's Kitchen, the chefs are targeted to make 8 American comfort foods. One chef from the losing team uses their punishment pot on one chef. Jason's ego starts to show its true colours, and although service has they can both teams finish service despite having some mistakes, and one more chef and another chef is sent home packing. We've got so much to talk about in this week's Hell's Kitchen Season 22 recap and review. So, just before we get started, basically before we get started with the review, I just want to say I do apologize for not uploading this yesterday, as this is actually my second attempt doing this video because it had loads of cuts in it. I wasn't very proud of it, so this is like my redo of the recap in a sense. So I hope you guys enjoy this review. Hopefully this is actually my second time, so hopefully I get everything down perfect. But anyways, let's just get started in the review. So we're gonna go straight into the challenge because the chefs were ordered to do 8 American comfort foods. And if I get my iPad up, I actually have it on the Wikipedia. That's how I actually have it on Wikipedia, so I can just look at it. So that's why I always get my ideas to the review. Um, so the challenge was to make American comfort food. So Matthias and Renisha made pizza. Jason and Connor made chicken wings. Ryan and Latoya made spaghetti and meatballs. Lee and Demir made mac and cheese, my favorite. Jermaine and Dunya made lobster rolls. Sandra and Devin made a Philly cheesesteak, which I've never heard. I mean, I've actually, ironically, I know it's covered up, but the Philly reminds me of the Philly burger I had at McDonald's yesterday, which I might have to do a story time because it was basically we had food delivered that was accidentally delivered to our, yeah. So anyways, and then we had Sammy and Jonathan do the fried chicken, and the challenge went well for both teams. The only chef really not to score a point was Jason, as his wings were too salty for his liking, and then I know he did show a bit of arrogance there. I think when he said what wanted to glaze them or like that, and he said that's why I'm here. So that's again it's Jason's ego coming back, but in a narrow defeat, the blue team won the challenge by 1 point, and so they went to um they went parasailing in Santa Barbara and had dinner at a mansion, while the red team was forced to make bread and make it by hand. But luckily, Melissa actually used her punishment pass on one of the teammates, and no surprise, he used Jason. And I applaud her for using that move for Jason because he's definitely got like she said, Jason's got such a big ego, and his attitude sucks. I basically hate him, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. So, and I'm so glad that she did that. And like I said this before, Melissa's my favorite member my favorite on the red team. But oh, excuse me. So as I said, my favorite chefs, my top 2 favorite chefs of the series so far are Melissa and Jonathan, and I think that could be maybe the top 2 maybe. So hopefully that's true. But anyways, oh excuse me. So yeah. Oh excuse me. I keep having like sore throat. But anyways, that's what happened, and we've got a lot to talk about Jason as well because man, this guy is just so yeah, he's just getting on my nerves. He's been getting on my nerves for so much throughout the series so far. Starting with the STD joke, which I didn't really like at all. I didn't really like the way he made that joke about STDs, and then his big, ego. Him being quite cocky, and he's kind of arrogant in a way. And also, can I just say, going back here, I think another reason why I actually now, if you don't remember, I think there's a good reason why Melissa used the punishment pass on Jason, because if you remember, like in the first episode of the season, we saw Melissa like pulling Jason aside, giving her like a prep talk in a way. She was like giving like a little like prep talk, saying something like I don't think it's here. I don't know. No, it's not on Wikipedia. But anyways, she was saying to him like, you don't have to be all like that. It's just a she was kind of like encouraging to in a really nice way. I loved the way she handled that situation. I think I mentioned that in the first episode. I loved the way she took a step approach to Jason and really calmly gave him that prep talk. It was really lovely to see that. But anyways, Jason, we gotta go to Jason because this guy is he made so like he was on my nerves this and he was even annoying the web team with his snide remarks and comments, and he was believing that they were not working fast enough for restaurant standards, and he is such an arrogant person, really, and he's getting on my nerves. And as much as I want him to go, as soon as possible, I think Gordon's definitely going to have him stick around for like at least the final 9, at least. Or hang on, wait, I just had something. I swear, if it's another Adam Pollock situation and Jonathan gets eliminated over Jason, my God, I will be absolutely fuming, man. Oh, anyways, so the reward, as I said, the blue team and Melissa were in Santa Barbara having dinner at the mansion and going parasailing. And can I just say parasailing looks absolutely terrifying. I would never want to do parasailing ever in my life. As not only that, I'm actually really afraid of heights, so I do not like heights whatsoever. So that's a pass for me. But I would like to go on the boat though and have dinner. I wouldn't want to do that. No, I wouldn't want to do that. And as I said, the red team were forced to stay behind to make bread by hand, and you know, Jason was going on their nerves, making comments and remarks, really, just like, basically his big ego is really shining through, like it's really showing its true colors. So, but I just know for a fact that he's going to stay on for like another few episodes before Gordon actually decides that I've had enough of this. You're going. But I know he's going to stay for like the final 9, or just at least the final 10. So I just have that feeling because just like Mark from last year, and not last year. My name's Matt. Sorry about that. But like kind of like the villain in a way, if you know what I mean. But like he's going to stay. Like comparing them to Carmen, I shouldn't be comparing them people, but like between like Carmen showed she was like a villain, but she's not like. She's got like this like I think she's better than Jason in terms of like arrogance. I mean, it's very difficult to explain, but I think I explained it in the last episode, saying I mentioned she had a really like, not cocky, but like I know better attitude, but not like in the best way. But anyways, let's go to dinner service. So we had um service. So we had Nikki Howard in the blue kitchen and Jenny Graff in the red kitchen. And so as always, we'll start with the blue side, and then we'll go to the red side. So on the blue team, Matthias continued his inconsistencies from basically the previous service when he was on the fish station side. Because last episode, he was a complete mess. He set up raw meat. He lit the pan on fire. And can I just say he was so lucky? He was so lucky that it wasn't a double elimination. Um, last episode, as he could have been a double elimination. So But anyways, as I said, he was sending up undercooked lobster tail for the risotto up to the pass twice, but before he finally had to go on the standards. And on the meat station, Jason was a struggle. He was struggling all night, and Ryan of all people, the third dinner service in, he actually had his first shaky service on the meat station, which is kind of surprising to see because he's the fan favorite so far. Ryan is, and honestly, I love Ryan. As I actually, he's from Ireland. I have an Irish. He's from Ireland. I have an Irish heritage, as I think I mentioned in one of them. But if I didn't, I do have an Irish heritage. My dad's parents, my dad's dad came from Ireland, and my godparents are from Ireland. So like, it's lovely that we've got like a connection like that. But um, and Jason was just a mess. And oh my god, what Jason did to the meat, oh my god, okay. So basically, what happened was, Jason got like clobs of butter on the steak, and he didn't even baste it. I think what happened was he's basting whole like clobs of butter on the New York strips instead of basting it with the melted butter, and that pissed off Gordon royally. He even put him in his place for that, which I applaud him for that, and he actually pulled everyone to the past to sternly put him back in his place. And he said something like, "Oh, if you can do that if in your own restaurant. We're here. You need to follow up to the standards. You can either do it the Hell's Kitchen standards, or you can not. You can just go home, or something like that." I can't exactly remember what he said, but I think, honestly, if I was going, I'd have kicked him out right there and then. I'm sorry, but he was just a mess from the meat station, and I wish, he was just a mess. And on the red side, overall, it was a pretty good service, and really the only issues was Renisha putting too much liquid in the carbonara and lying to Christina about it, which the number one rule in Hell's Kitchen is never to lie in front of Chef Christina, because she knows everything. She's at the hot plate. She's watching every single move, and if you lie to her, it's game over. You might as well dig your own grave right there and then, and cover yourself up with the soil. So and also Sammy, also a surprise for me for Sammy, who I think is the strongest chef on the red team. She overcooked the halibut, and Atoy really not firing the garnish in ticket times. And Sandra was like frazzled. She was very like, she even admitted it was like really stressful. She was getting stressed, and Gordon pulled him aside, and she wanted her to like get better. And I'm going to say this now. I actually found it. I actually really, really liked the way Gordon handled that. I just like the way he handled the situation with Sandra. He gave him that prep talk during the service, saying like he was saying like, if you try more harder, it's gonna sink. It's gonna sink in more. And he even put his arm around his shoulder, which just goes to show that Gordon is people think he's like an absolute devil in the blue in the kitchen, where yes, he can be, but he even mentioned in like one of the episodes that I'm here, I'm rooting for all of you, which basically shows how much he cares for chefs. Even if they don't do their best, he does care for them, and he wants the best out of them. And one of the things that kind of got me was like, he said to him, Sandra, it's not too late. You can still bounce back. We've got some tickets left. You can shine now. And it just goes to show Gordon's patience from over the years from contesting. Because if we think about to like the season 6, I mean, basically the old school Gordon, he was very like, he wasn't and any patience at all. He was putting everyone in their place, But over the years, I think because he's got a family now. He's got, like a big family. He's got basically they're adults now, most likely. I think some of them like in their 20s now, like late early 20s, I think now. So so I think it just goes to show Gordon's how well of a family man he is, and how much he wants people to do well. And I actually think he's a nice guy outside the kitchen, and I think he even mentioned in one of the seasons, premieres, I can't remember which one, things like season like 19, I think, where he mentioned his family and how he got into cooking. And he mentioned that his parents got through a divorce. His brother got into a serious drug addiction, and it was difficult for him. And he admitted how passionate he was for cooking. And I just thought it was really sweet, honestly, and I really appreciate Gordon. putting, giving that motivation to Sandro. I really do appreciate that from him. But in the end, the blue team do lose the dinner service, and by the way, both teams do complete dinner service. But Gordon gave the win to the red team by an edge. I think he said something like the winning team by an edge is. So I think he said something like one team had the edge and it was the red team. I'm not quite sure, but anyways, the red team. I mean, the blue team were lost again. And can I just say, apart from like really, Jonathan, Ryan, and Demir, I think the blue team isn't doing like this great so far in the challenges. I'm not gonna lie, you know. But you know, but I hope they can improve. They seem to be doing pretty well in the challenges. I'm not gonna lie, but anyways, let's get to the nomination ceremony. So the nominations for this week on the blue team are Matthias and Jason. Um, and so this was the nomination. I wasn't really surprised with the nominations. I think this was the right nomination, but I will be honest, I am kind of mixed on the person who got eliminated, which we'll get to in just a second. So but in Jason, when Jason did his play, he kept talking about the steak. I mean, you basically he was, in my opinion, he was being quite you know not selfish, but basically it's just his ego really showing his true colors, and it was really like, even Gordon said he was even frustrated with him cutting corners, but in the end, Matthias was actually sent home for being on thin ice, and he felt like he was going down through a downward spiral. And I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit sad that Matthias is going, because I actually feel like Jason should have gone home here, and I think he's just a hot mess. I feel like, but I can understand why Matthias went home and Jason stayed, because like I said, Gordon wants the ratings. He really wants the ratings to go, for Jason, and Jason's here for the drama. He's gonna stay here for at least for a couple of weeks. And I don't. By the time he gets like nomination 5 or 4, whenever, he's gonna get sent back, and I bet you on my life. So before we end the review and recap here, let's go over the preview for next week. It shows Jason again with Jason again with his. But I got to call it something. I might have to call it Jason's big ego. Every single week, every single episode, whenever he has, just like the past few weeks, I should just do it. So, he has like, I might have to call it that. But anyways, and Renisha's going to be at the red team, but I think because it's what Jason is saying something like, the red team doesn't believe in you, and she gets all over. She's like all on the red team. And it looks like service is going to be another struggle for both teams, where potentially both teams could be losing. And I wouldn't be surprised they did, because they've already lost the first 2 services. And Gordon said to one chef in the preview, get out. Get out of here. Go outside. Get out of here. And it shows someone walking up the doors. And it kind of makes out to look like Brad. It looks like Brad's going to be one walking out the kitchen. So does this mean that Brad is going to be the one going home, but getting eliminated in the middle of dinner service? Like, do you guys think that? Because I actually think it's a big possibility that he could be maybe going home next week. I feel like, as he's been nominated twice for nominations. He was in this episode, but I think he's going to get nominated again, and he's going to go home, and all that. So but look, we'll have to wait until next week. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days to go. I know this was a little bit late, but I couldn't do it yesterday because I didn't like it. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode of Hell's Kitchen Review. If you did like it, please subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned on, and Later today, I'm going to be doing information about the America's Got Talent spin-off, America's Got Talent Fantasy League. I am so excited for this spin-off. It's basically 60 acts are going to be here. 40 are going to be. I'll do all the detail in it, but I'm gonna do a video because we've already got some contestants who are already contestants, and I'm so excited for some of them. I am over the moon. I'm so excited. I'll do a video maybe later today or maybe tomorrow. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next week for our next Hell's Kitchen Season 22 recap and review.